Qantas, Australia's iconic airline, has just had an absolutely landmark year. We're talking staggering profits, and they're using that cash to completely reshape the future of long-haul travel. So today, we're going to break down how they pulled it off, what they're spending all that money on, and what it all means for you, the passenger. Everything really starts with this number right here, an underlying profit of nearly 2.4 billion Australian dollars. I mean, that's a 15% jump from the year before, and it's the massive headline figure that really sets the stage for everything else. But, profit is only part of the story. The other, arguably more exciting part is what they're doing with all that profit. Qantas is diving headfirst into the single biggest fleet renewal in its entire century-long history. We are talking a complete top-to-bottom overhaul. And it all leads to this. The absolute holy grail of long-haul travel, a direct flight from the east coast of Australia all the way to the UK. So you've got this massive profit, a brand new fleet, and a plan to conquer the final frontier of distance. That's the incredible story we're unpacking today. Okay, so let's get into it, starting with a year of just record-smashing profits. You really have to grasp the scale of this success to understand why the airline is making such bold, ambitious moves for its future. The momentum here is just undeniable. Revenue shot up to nearly $24 billion. That's an 8.6% increase in just 1 year. And this wasn't some fluke. It was driven by powerful, sustained demand right across the board. In fact, they carried 4 million more passengers than the year before. And that success? Well, it's being shared. The airline handed back a massive $800 million to its shareholders. Now, to put that into perspective for you, the final dividend payment was the single biggest payout Qantas has made in 17 years. The takeaway here is crystal clear. The financial engine is firing on all cylinders. So this brings us to their secret weapon, the dual-brand powerhouse. How exactly did Qantas post these kinds of numbers? Well, the answer lies in its brilliant and totally dominant two-airline strategy. If you look at the Australian domestic market, things get really interesting. See, on their own, Virgin Australia and Qantas are pretty much neck and neck. But the minute you add in Qantas's low-cost carrier Jetstar, well, that changes everything. Together, they control over 60% of all domestic air travel. That is an incredibly powerful position to be in. And this just drives home how consolidated the market has become. With a lot of the smaller carriers gone, the Qantas Group and Virgin Australia together command roughly 94% of the entire domestic market. It's a classic duopoly, and that gives both of them enormous built-in advantages. And you have to give credit where it's due, because within that strategy, Jetstar had an absolutely phenomenal year. It carried a record 16 million passengers here at home, and its earnings just exploded, up by 55%. They were filling more seats on every single plane and aggressively expanding overseas. So yeah, Jetstar isn't just a sidekick, it's a core profit engine for the whole group. Okay, so what do you do with all that cash coming in? Well, you reinvest it. And that brings us to the plan for building tomorrow's fleet. Qantas is spending big, on an unprecedented scale really, to modernize its aircraft for the next generation of travel. Just look at that number. 214 new planes are on the way. Let that sink in. This isn't just about replacing a few old jets. Oh no, this is a complete technological leap forward designed to boost efficiency, extend range, and, most importantly for all of us, dramatically improve the passenger experience. And if you want to know what this means for you, the traveler, look no further than this. For the first time ever on a Qantas narrow-body plane, the kinds you fly on those long cross-country routes like Sydney to Perth, they're going to have lie-flat business class seats. That is international-grade luxury on a domestic flight. It's a true game changer. And all of this, the profits, the new planes, it all culminates in this, the dawn of Project Sunrise. This is the airline's moonshot. It's the most ambitious, the most exciting part of their entire strategy. So what exactly is Project Sunrise? Well, to put it simply, it's the plan to operate the world's first ever non-stop commercial flights connecting Sydney and Melbourne directly to London and New York. This is about eliminating that painful one-stop journey and finally overcoming what Australians have long called the tyranny of distance.
And hey, this isn't some far-off pipe dream, it is happening right now. The first custom-built Airbus A350 is already being put together in France. Delivery is scheduled for late 2026, and those first commercial flights, they're expected to take off in the first half of 2027. It's right around the corner.
And as the CEO, Vanessa Hudson, says, this is way more than just a new route. It's about fundamentally changing the experience of global travel for an entire continent. I mean, that is a bold, visionary statement, and it's backed by billions of dollars of investment. So what's the real payoff for the passenger? It boils down to this: up to 4 hours of your life back on a single trip. That's 4 hours you don't have to waste in a transit lounge or on a layover. It's a massive, tangible benefit that's going to redefine what's possible in a single journey.
All right, finally, let's talk about the rewards and what's on the road ahead. Because Qantas is flying incredibly high right now, but it's also navigating a pretty complex global environment. So how is it balancing today's success with tomorrow's challenges?
Well, crucially, they're plowing money back into the customer experience. On-time performance is the best it's been in years, customer satisfaction scores are up big time, and they're rolling out real, tangible perks, like free Wi-Fi on international flights, new lounges, and even more spacious economy seats. They're making the journey better, starting today.
But, it's not all clear skies. In a recent update, Qantas did slightly trim its domestic revenue forecast. It seems corporate travel demand isn't bouncing back quite as fast as everyone hoped. Now, international demand is still strong, but fuel costs, well, as you can see, they're a huge and always volatile factor they have to manage. Which really leaves us with this final massive question. Qantas is using a period of incredible strength to place a huge bet on its future. It's building a new fleet, it's pioneering new frontiers in travel. The question now is, can it successfully navigate all the economic turbulence that's out there and turn this incredibly bold vision into a reality? Only time is going to tell.